Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Michelle Fanensteel, coming to you from the headquarters of Dirigo Food Safety here in beautiful Yarmouth, Maine. And I'm coming to you this week with a deep dive on waste. And this isn't a conversation we have a whole lot over in the sustainable food, sustainable agricultural community, but it's a conversation we really need to be having. And so I'm bringing it to you today in the context of continuous process improvement, key performance indicators, and waste, and these sorts of business metrics that are so important for food companies to understand. Because, as many of you out there know, I'm a veterinarian by training. I came to this through doing food safety in the U.S. Army, and as a veterinarian, as a human being, as somebody who believes in local food and local agriculture, I really believe that animals deserve one bad day, okay? And at the end of the day, especially if we're talking about meat proteins, we are talking about killing animals, okay? And those lives deserve not to be wasted. The lives of the people who work so hard to make sure that those animals have one bad day don't deserve to be wasted. And it is a calling here at Dirigo Food Safety to make sure that people understand that those animals are giving up their lives so that we can eat, and that means something, and we make that mean something, okay? And so that's why we do all of this work, and we talk about strategy, we talk about profitability, we talk about HACCP, we talk about all the different things that we talk about, because at the end of the day, people's lives matter, okay, in as much as they are creating food for us to eat. All right, their time and their talent and their treasure matters in that we are creating food. And so today I'm going to talk to you about the different kind of wastes that I observe and that we look for in food production. Okay, and these come out of Lean Six Sigma that some of you have probably heard about. If you're looking to read more about it, I have basically two um, videos that are two books that I talk about. The first one is The Goal by Eliyahu Goldratt, and then the second one is uh, The Toyota Way. Okay, because a lot of this comes out of car manufacturing and food manufacturing. It's like the redheaded stepchild of the manufacturing world. All right, and we are like 30 years behind our brethren in manufacturing, and we don't have to be. Okay, so so let's talk a little bit about what all those wastes are, and I want you to think over the course of this week about how that waste may be occurring in your facility. All right, so the first one we have is process waste, okay, and that's when, we do process flow diagramming. Well, when that process doesn't match up and you're not doing what you say in your process flow diagram, that's one example of process waste. Um, Another way of having process waste is having bottlenecks, okay, where you're not piling stuff up in front of your bottlenecks so that your bottlenecks are working at 100% capacity. You can read more about that in the goal. All right, rework waste. Folks, if you are constantly reworking and you're making sausage and there's rework and you're going to, keep putting it in to the next tub, you have not balanced your outputs with your inputs, okay? And you create waste. It takes time, money, and energy to keep that meat cold and in work in process inventory as opposed to finished product inventory that you can then sell. Okay, so there's that kind of rework waste. There's re-cleaning waste, okay? There's rejection waste. There's all those sorts of waste that go with a re-label where you didn't get it right the first time. That creates waste. All right, there's intellectual waste. All right, you have brilliant people who work for you. I'm not kidding. You have brilliant people who work for you. You have people who work for you who know your product better than you do. You need to tap into those people and leverage their leadership ability, leverage their technical capability so that they can make your business and your products better. All right, we have motion waste. Motion waste is pretty popular. This one's generally pretty easy to tackle. This is when people are walking back and forth, okay, or your product is walking back and forth. You're spending time looking for something, and there's actually another subset of this kind of waste is when you are in overwhelm, because you are trying to make a decision, and either you have too much data, which is very easy in food, or you don't have enough data. You're not collecting the right kind of data to make a decision. All right, so then the next one is overproduction waste. Again, this one is pretty simple. The customer wanted one pallet and you made 1 1/3 pallets because that's what matched. Well, then you have a 30% overage on your overproduction. All right, you have over-engineered what you're doing because you've exceeded what the client values, okay? You know, a lot of us, we want to make like super perfect food and all that good sort of stuff, which, believe me, I think is a great idea, but you have to understand what your customer wants and engineer that to what they want so that you're not overproducing and spending too much money and not making a profit because you've over-engineered what you're doing, all right? Waiting waste, all right? When you are waiting for supplies, that's a waste of everybody's time. When your customer is waiting for its product, that's another kind of waste. So this gets into just in time, okay? You need to be sending things to customers just in time, and your supplies need to be coming in just in time, all right? And that is something, again, you can read about just in time. That's like the Toyota way. There's so much out there if you look up just in time manufacturing. All right, inventory waste. This one's really hard in food, okay, because we love inventory. We feel like we walk into a walk-in and there's a lot of food there and we see a sense of abundance, okay? I walk into a walk-in and I see a lot of food there and I see a lot of wasted money. Cold, dry air is the most expensive air that you can have, and that's generally the air that we have in a walk-in, or else you get like crystals and drippage and condensation, right? And so if you are spending time, money, and effort on maintaining inventory, you are wasting that time, money, and effort. Now, I am not saying that if you are hanging ham for 2 years, you are wasting. That's part of your production process. That's not a waste. If your hams are supposed to hang for 2 years and you don't look at them until 2 years and 4 months, it's that 4 months that's the waste. It's not the whole 2 years, okay? So inventory waste is a huge thing, and the better you knock down your supply chain or lock down your supply chain, the better you understand and have inventory management, the more you can tackle this kind of waste. Okay, and then finally, transportation waste. How many times have we been somewhere and we've been on a job site and somebody delivers something and it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong temperature, you have to reject it. That's a huge waste, okay? And then there is another kind of waste that we have here in food safety that is kind of has aspects of all of these different kinds of wastes, okay? And that's a recall. A recall is a gigantic waste of food. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of effort. It desperately needs to be done, but it is a reflection of wastes in your system that you have not addressed, okay? And it is the most costly kind of waste because it's additive of all these different other wastes that make you pull product off the shelf and give you brand disparagement and cause, I mean, they wreak havoc. It's exceedingly stressful to have a recall. But if you are having a recall, it's because you have all of these different kinds of wastes in your system, and identifying and fixing those different kinds of wastes is one of the ways we can get to the root cause of fixing what's going on so you can get back into production. So that's wastes, okay? Tomorrow we're going to be talking about key performance indicators, which will reflect back onto this topic, okay? And then we're going to work through what this means for your culture and how we pull this all together. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Michelle Fanon-Steele. It's been a delight, and we'll see you tomorrow.